Hmm. Well, just saying, here's the first. I've updated software. It seems to be constantly needing to update software and everything. Um, did the cookies with the kids. Was thoroughly kidnapped. Got to watch the end of Call of the Wild again. Um, interesting day. Tried to put on like 4 or 5 videos and get caught up on the political minute and some of the other stuff out there, but for some reason it's like, oh, you're too rambling. Why didn't you put on things with the chalkboard and everything else? It looks more like you're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. Uh, I can't make any money with for my security department. They're not going with any of Colin Dawson's movies or anything because he's just being so mean and he's anti-Catholic and all this. And I'm like, well, you've been hacking the house and coming in here and knocking my doors down and saying that you had to peruse the house and we had to put up Santas in order to scare you away because they're like, you're a kryptonite for the Nazis up the road, up the street to say, we can Cold War anytime out there and take anything from your house because we're now domesticated troops. And I'm just like, little stupid second wife of this Nazi up the road here that just has a fertility cult going on. And, you squat here and all your shit just poisons the water and everything. And you have nothing else and you need to stay out of my house with any one of your, side action husbands that he's sucking the soul powers off of. They all go, Jeremy Metcalf. No, not Jeremy Metcalf. He's the lineage of Jesus that they're at war with, and I'm in between them. And this is just ridiculous that they constantly keep hacking here. And it's like, as a security department, I don't ever have to because I have over like 700 views today from all their security personnel and the police and everything else because it doesn't count as a view. So, in looking at this, and I'm purposely just sucking later for them because, it's like demonology and Zulu and uh, Jews that haven't been gotten or whatever. And, it's just so funny with all the, stuff. And I'm just going, aren't they slaves of Ricky Ricardo land or something else with that? Because, constantly just going, it's really getting over with everything that I need to do to keep these crazy sacks of shit telling me that I have to go to church in order to own land, have a job, property, have people exercise me constantly with the psi waves of God because that's what satellites are. And this country can't even have anything with the FCC, which is such a joke, regulating anything that has to do with communications or anything else, policing anything. Every single person going around here is saying that they'll adopt anybody and that they have more mental diseases than the German names that are used for mental diseases in this country for the Romans and everything else, and their whole principality war that I'm not supposed to know about. These principality churches that are illegal, these memorial principality churches that are illegal. Wallace Memorial, I'm calling you out. I don't care. You can't sue me. It's the truth. You give money to a specific person to exist here, which is establishment of a Christian royalty underneath the security councils. Your church should be abolished and fall to the ground, and we'll use it to build homeless centers. And all your bricks will still have nothing in them and have no power over them. And y'all can chant, go and sleep in meth houses for your people and your order of like lineage that get a fast way track in. And you all can stop freezing my computer, or else YouTube, who has not sent me anything yet over anything, can stop immediately because I can upload as many videos as it will do. You can stop freezing it. You can stop anything, especially the ones that you put in that were with Abu Ghraib that made sure we only went after old Allied personnel, old Jewish people, purposely went out and strafed fire over villages and everything else so that they would turn against the USA because that's who the war needed to be against. And we were shooting the Principality area, and we're supposed to make that area holy and pure so that Nazis can live there and we can pay them colonial salaries for everything else since they were private security in the thing. And none of their victims that they go, you're paid to go there until I can walk up this path and catch all their bullets. and you order them to take the orders of the enemy. And they're on the side of Al-Qaeda. They are. Al-Qaeda is part of the Axis powers. There's no reformation. There's no reconstruction. These people are beyond reconstruction. You didn't send them back for any type of waiting period for 5 years, and then they can try, like it's said under the Security Council and everything else, like it's said under USA laws dealing with people that were held here in prison for reconstruction. You and your Catholic faith, your Christian faith, because all Christians are unified. They just want to be the ones that are working for that situation and chosen for that underneath their cults of Rome, whether it's the dictators or the Druids or the Catholics or whoever it is. This is getting old, just getting over with, and this targeting by Christian people against me for everything is getting old. This targeting of people who do human sacrificial rituals out there and their cannibalistic ways that is illegal in this country, and is guilty of hanging and deportation of those not in direct situations over it by federal law. But the most you can do is say, maybe it's doctor's patient-assisted suicide. Quit freezing my computer and stopping my downloads. YouTube can just send me an email and be like, here it is in the top of your thing. This is why all your videos have been deleted, removed, everything else. I don't really care if they say I don't have anything out there and I can hear you all saying stuff and you hit me in my lower spine or something else going, I'm helping you with your degenerative back disease because you won't hunch down and bend over before God. God is not Jesus Christ, and he never has been. And you actually even doing mission trips and witnessing here is a form of illegal situations inside the United States. Your churches operating in any form or fashion, or any people that are in recruitment, are illegal in the United States, and the founding of the Continental Congress and the presidency office and the court system. Religious law will never be part of the United States of America. And your colonial power that you represent, black, white, yellow, or any other spectrum that you can think of and name, will not be allowed in these United States. Period. Like and subscribe. This is over. And it's like, what's he going to do? Legal action? You better have proof with that. There's no proof. You're all Christians and the government gave you blanketed immunity to do whatever. And then you all just go, do poses, baby. There can't be any justice because justice is biased. And the only time that they recuse themselves is whenever there's a mentor or the person who appointed them or friends. That they can't directly say, this proves my faith. Your faith, you're not a race. You're a cult. And your colonial powers asserting yourself here. Good night. Leave my computer alone. You have a place where there's hundreds of thousands of you. And it's like, this is what love means when it's Christian or anybody of an organized religion out there. And don't give me anything with Islam, because right now you're just an intelligent cult that will eventually start eating brains here in this country, because that's what Muslims mean in the NIV Bible and Abrahamic, the faiths. Anybody under 150 IQ can be killed. If they aren't talking by the time that they are 1.5 in pure sentences, they could be killed now. And I mean, I know this has nothing to do with Islam. This just has to do with some sort of human ritualistic sacrification, saying that from Islam they'll get Muslims for the NIV Bible. They will say they can't go forward anymore and are slaves. Now, do not make me have to tell you how that's really the Turks of the Byzantine Empire. And however you want to pronunciate it, it's wrong because no one's going to listen to it. This Christian schizophrenia and biased will stop. This mechanized war division of us having to take out the holy warrior areas with China and Russia and the pioneering pine forests and the sandbox and Tibet and Mongolia and the Uyghurs, and they're all working together for it. And it's just, we don't really think about those because they look cool to us, or they were our friends, or something else like that. This is just to make sure that anyone there can't stand up to the Crusaders when there's going to be a more organized crusade from that which is reconstituted an army of the Roman Axis powers. Now, this is just ridiculous. I have one subscriber, and I'm pretty sure that it's one lone police officer or some sort of schizo that's actually looked at it. And I know my cousin-in-law's dad with the Secret Service just said something over here. I'm sure nobody's going to hear it unless you had like the ears of a 4-year-old or 5-year-old, and snapped his fingers, and it like hit me right there in the right side of left side of my nose, right at my eye, saying that I need to shut up because, he was an Axis powers special hire when we had 4 islands of Tahiti that they took over and held up until the 80s. And then we said, what will it take for you? I want to have French Foreign Legion practicing. So they sent them to Quebec for it. What will it take for you to have all your guards stand down over at Tahiti? We'll all surrender if you give us Secret Service training and training in the USA military. That's really why we came to Tahiti, was we can't go back because we weren't beautiful in the eyes of the current emperor. Because they were all people who had really broad shoulders and looked like, super defensive linemen, and had the darkest form of melanistic ever. So, the reason why Japan's a secondary tribal, they have multiple colors in their race. Not that colors make race. Now, just saying, everything has to have race in it, so don't worry, there is something with race in it now. It's like sex. And it really has nothing to do with those colors, because I've been complaining about all the ones up the road that look like emerald-eyed Irish people that aren't Japanese blonde heads or anybody else. And they go, you did 17 Nazi stories from Italy, have over 80 more to do, and you have like 17 more Japanese stories. That's, Colin, you have, that's boggling math. That's like 34 Japanese war stories. You're so racist. And the 80 against to 90 against of Rome and Sicily and Ethiopia, Liberia, Africa, the Americas, and everything else that doesn't involve the Germans almost in any way, shape, form, or anything. Pure Italian Peninsula theater, everything else, even using allies that they really don't even think of or anything. And you just, it's like, yeah, I know things over Japan. Might as well turn them in. They say they've opened up the entire Japanese everything to me. And I've had them actually have the image of Biden come over at work on the 5 or 6 cameras, and it's like, wow, it's almost 3D when you can do it on the reflective, like, mirror glass stuff at the place, trying to distract me. He's like, we're never doing your stories. And I'm like, Can you try and get the mouth to match the words better? Because, I mean, Biden, if he actually had to come down here, he's going to be like, I have to deal with this little peon. Does he even make more than minimum wage? Oh, thank God. I thought I was going to have to look like I was going to get my campaign things for like below minimum wage people or something. I'm still going to go in there. He's just going to go in there. I'm not trying to say he needs Boniva or something else, but he is getting at that age. He will break his hand after like 10 or 12 like backhands and slaps to me across my bony, pointy chin that will probably be labeled a deadly weapon against the presidency or something else. Backhanding and hitting me on the 6th or 8th time. I'm saying he's going to bust a fucking knuckle. But he's not in boxing gloves, so it's like I've heard that's kind of what happens naturally anyway. So with all of this, leave the YouTube alone unless YouTube is going to be sending me something to actually say, you're fucking banned. Your videos are deleted. You are a mean, evil person. Okay? Now shovel effelgus and get out of my life. Like and subscribe. I'm sorry. It's horrible, I know.